Emmerdale's Kelvin Fletcher dealt disappointing blow after heartbreaking farm news. Kelvin Fletcher received disappointing news during the latest episode of Fletcher's Family Farm. Kelvin Fletcher was dealt a blow in the latest installment of Fletcher's Family Farm, which returns on Sunday. Kelvin and his wife, Liz, who operate a farm in Cheshire, have been attempting to diversify their enterprise by venturing into arable farming. Nevertheless, when Kelvin had the harvest analyzed to determine whether it was suitable for producing porridge, he received some unwelcome information. Of all the new ventures on the farm, our first foray into arable farming has been one of the most exciting, the voiceover explained. In the past, this farm did produce a number of crops, but for the last 20 years, nothing has grown here until now. Today, we find out if the hard graft has paid off. So now we're off to the mill, the millers, Kelvin remarked enthusiastically. He continued, "There's a lot riding on this in the sense that we were bold enough to do it in the first place, and then kind of even braver to think that we could get some porridge oats. It is a little nerve-wracking as to what the outcome of today is, but it goes without saying, this is just the beginning of our arable journey. Regardless of the result, we will not be deterred," reports the Mirror. Kelvin's trial batch of oats was subsequently examined to establish whether they met the standard for human consumption or were headed for animal feed. Yet, when Managing Director James started assessing the oats, he remarked, "This is not a promising start." He went on, "They look well, but they haven't absorbed enough moisture in order to swell, so the inside of the grain hasn't swollen up to make a really meaty groat for porridge. So it was a really long, hot, dry summer, wasn't it? So, unfortunately, at the right part of that growing cycle, you just wouldn't have had enough rain up on the field." Delivering the verdict to Kelvin, James said, "So unfortunately, it's not going to make the grade for porridge. But it's not all lost, because there's still nutritional value in here." Despite the letdown, Kelvin remained upbeat about his harvest's prospects when speaking to the camera. He mused, "You know what I feel? I still feel quite optimistic, a little bit disappointed that we didn't quite make the grade, but now I've got an understanding of what it takes to make the grade, and what it actually means to not make the grade. We still grew a great crop. I just didn't quite have the umph." Meanwhile, in the episode, Kelvin's wife, Liz, became emotional upon discovering their beloved dog, Ginger, was carrying a litter of puppies. Following a visit from vet Hugo, who examined Ginger's belly, Liz declared, "Hugo, I think that is the best news you've ever given me."